Might be a good time to get started. Jill, can you begin recording? Excellent. So, hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this presentation. Today we'll be talking about integrating Amazon Business into your PeopleSoft procurement system. A couple housekeeping items. Your attendee lines will be muted. Make sure your speakers are on. A PDF of the slides will be emailed after the webinar along with a recording. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. We will try to address those as best we can at the end of the presentation. Our agenda is to discuss common source to pay challenges, how to simplify your purchasing process with Amazon Business, provide you a customer success story of the integration, and how you can optimize PeopleSoft with Amazon Business. My name is Matthew Popich. I am a manager and consultant at New Resources Consulting, and I assisted Wake Forest on the PeopleSoft side of their Amazon Business implementation. I hope to share that experience with all of you today.
And my name is Alyssa Madwed. I'm a solution consultant here at Amazon Business. My main responsibilities entail working with customers to make sure that it's a technically sound solution that meets their business processes prior to deployment. So I'm excited to talk to you today about what we have to offer.
And I am Tracy Stevenson, Manager Supply Chain Systems at Wake Forest. I lead the team for Item Master, Vendor Master, Business Analyst for the ERP system to keep it running for purchasing, inventory, and requisition.
Thank you all. All right, Alyssa, take it away.
Awesome. So I'll kick it off today. Here at Amazon, we engage with more than 2,500 organizations of all different sizes across many different industries every week. And one of the top concerns that we hear from these organizations is that their internal stakeholders and their end users want a purchasing experience like what they have with Amazon at home, but built for work. So they want, that wide selection of products, competitive pricing, but most importantly, that ease of use. So throughout the presentation today, I encourage you to think through, how are your teams buying? Are you enabling your teams to buy with the convenience that they now expect? Are you able to deliver on their expectations for simplification and speed while still maintaining that visibility and control that you need to complete the expectations and goals of your organization? So with that, I'll toss it over to Tracy to talk through how Wake looked at their procurement processes and transforms their end-to-end procurement cycle using Amazon for Business.
Thanks, Alyssa. Through my role as Supply Chain Systems Manager, I've been asked multiple times over the years for PeopleSoft to give the Wake customer base that quote-unquote Amazon experience. Personally, I love Amazon and would love nothing more than to give my users that experience, but at the end of the day, PeopleSoft is PeopleSoft and Amazon is, well, Amazon. Wake Forest Baptist has been an Amazon Business customer since 2011, and prior to May 2020, those orders that were placed were for the most part manual. The requisitioner navigated Amazon.com, shopped, took a screenshot for the items they wanted, and then entered a manual special request requisition into PeopleSoft. Those screenshots were attached to the requisition for reference by the purchasing agent later in the process. While the requisition did route through the necessary workflow and purchase order creation, once the PO was created, that agent then manually entered the data back into Amazon to place the order. Payment was made with a corporate credit card, which then required manual reconciliation between purchasing, the original department, and accounts payable at month end. As you can tell, there were multiple touch points along the way. When our executive leadership asked about the ability for supply chain to then build the Amazon book of business, it did not meet with much enthusiasm from the key players. However, after initial discussions with our team at New Resources Consulting, we found we could make it better for all those involved with an integration between PeopleSoft and Amazon. This integration, or as Wake calls it, punch out, allows the requisitioner to use PeopleSoft and get that Amazon experience because it is Amazon. The process is centralized in the e-procurement requisition module. Using Punchout allows the requester to shop, check out, create a requisition with all the item data without manual data entry. Remember my previous comments on the screenshots and how the requester entered a manual order. We never knew what the information was going to get entered since all the pertinent information was on that screenshot attached as a comment. That does not make for easy query capability to view item information or order trends because we never knew what data was going to be entered in the first place. Punchout builds a requisition with all the data elements that are needed: description, price, unit of measure, item number, manufacturer number, unspec codes, etc. Greater visibility of items people are buying reduces unnecessary spend and avoids item entry mistakes or even potential fraud. As I mentioned earlier, I would like nothing better than to give my requesters the Amazon experience in PeopleSoft. For those who have searched for items, you know the capability of Amazon search engine and the size of the catalog they offer. A catalog that size is difficult, if not impossible, to maintain in an ERP system without some kind of integration. Using Punchout allows my team to integrate PeopleSoft with Amazon, get the benefits of their catalog without having to create and maintain thousands of items in an item master. It also saves the need for additional vendors that can be accessed using Amazon. Amazon Punchout avoids multiple touch points that were being made on every requisition, purchase order, and invoice. Before the Punchout integration, PeopleSoft routed all Amazon requisitions to one agent to process. But since Go Live, we've been able to route orders based on our usual departmental order routing. The requester gets an email from Amazon with order details, back orders, shipping notices. So they're kept up to date without the need to call their purchasing agent for order status. That's a huge time saver for everyone. I can safely say Amazon integration project has been a positive change for Wake Forest.
Excellent. Thank you, Tracy. I don't know if there's much more to add to that than just summarizing how you improved your user experience and advanced the organization by integrating the Amazon with PeopleSoft. Alyssa, anything else you'd like to comment on?
Yeah, no, I think it's just really key. We see a lot of our customers benefit from the integration into their already established procurement processes. So having the ability to bring that requisition, connect it back to the Amazon marketplace, and then have those subsequent approval flows, reconciliation processes through their already established process is where we see a lot of the benefit for our value that our customers can gain. And then Tracy, if you want to flip to the next slide, to the Why Amazon Business slide, perfect. So just to dive deeper a little bit into why Amazon Business. So you're probably asking yourself, what does this mean to me? How can I go ahead and start this knowing that there are a lot of benefits that you can get? So diving a little bit deeper, Amazon Business is free to register. So there's absolutely no cost for you to set up an account. So you can set up an account today, start your integration process, or even start purchasing through the web if you want to have a slower transition, all free of charge. We do have business-only pricing, so there's exclusive price discounts on more than 5 million of our products. And this, of course, as Tracy just mentioned, can help you centralize your tail spend and additionally gain visibility into other spend that you have with Amazon. There's optional add-ons with Business Prime. That is the only part of the Amazon Marketplace that is paid. But with that, you do get additional benefits. Of course, similar to the consumer side, you get free 2-day shipping. You do get free next day shipping on select items. And then with the purchase of Business Prime, you do also get some additional benefits. So you can customize your procurement policies and controls, which we'll dive into a little bit in the coming slides. I know we just dove into the integration, but of course we do integrate with the systems. PeopleSoft is one of those great candidates where you can end-to-end seamlessly integrate into the system. And there's various payment options. I know Tracy mentioned that they are using the line of credit. We do also have that invoicing option as well. And of course, all of our sellers are certified, and we do source from small businesses. So if you have any diverse qualifications or quality certificates that you need to have, this is a great marketplace for that. So diving into the next slide, I did mention that ability to customize purchasing policies and controls. So this is one feature that a lot of our customers that do purchase the Business Prime package like to take advantage of. And this is the ability to prefer, restrict, or block different items. So what this means is you can configure the ability to prefer different products or different sellers. And that gives the messaging to your requisitioners and your end users that you want them to buy these exact products or buy from these specific sellers. With that paid Business Prime feature, you also do have the ability to restrict, which is what we refer to as a soft block. That allows you to, by the UNSPSC category, go ahead and restrict different items. It will give them a warning that basically says, please don't buy, please, whatever customized message you'd like, please don't buy, refer to the other catalog. But if they do need to purchase as an exception, they can go ahead and do so. And then with the highest level package, you do have the ability to block, and that basically disables the add to cart button, so your end users physically cannot add that item to your cart. So knowing that you may have contracts with other suppliers, Amazon is still a good option because it can seamlessly integrate, but you also can curate that catalog and make it unique to your business. And on the next slide, you'll see an image of what it may look like. So the top image will show you what a restricted policy will look like. Of course, you can see it's flagging as a non-compliant. And then there's another screenshot in the forefront that says the stapler is preferred. So these messages are all customizable and really can help you curate the catalog to your business. And then lastly, a lot of the folks would like, better reporting, better visibility into Amazon purchases. So consolidating that spend from, rogue consumer accounts or many business accounts into your one main punch-out account through PeopleSoft is super beneficial. And not only do you have reporting through PeopleSoft, but you would have the ability to pull reports directly from Amazon. There's different reports such as order reports, there's delivery tracking reports, there's reconciliation reports. So lots of different analytics can be pulled to really help you have an end-to-end process that's seamless, solidified, and really make sure that you meet your procurement goals. So with that, I'll toss it over to Matt to talk through some of the integration benefits between Amazon and PeopleSoft.
Thank you. Really, it's to echo Tracy's experience for her organization at Wake Forest. It's really going to simplify your user experience by centralizing it and keeping it familiar. All purchasing methods are located on one page. And that page is your requisition creation. Requesters can pull items from internal catalogs, create that ad hoc special request, or the Amazon Business punch-out catalog. That'll bring you to Amazon Business and pull those items back into your PeopleSoft requisition. This punch-out allows you to enforce purchasing and finance policies already established in PeopleSoft. So your chart of accounts, budget controls, any approval requirements, and matching. Amazon's maintaining that catalog list so you don't have to. The items, the prices, the availability. Once that requisition is created and approved, the rest of the process can be automated. For example, the rec creation into a PO. That can be automated along with encumbering the funds on the PO, dispatching the PO back to Amazon for electronic fulfillment, and automatically creating your invoices from Amazon into vouchers in PeopleSoft. Those invoice lines will automatically match up to your PO lines and inherit those chart of accounts on your from your requisition and PO. And this is what the Wake experience was. It streamlined this process end to end, so your user experience was far simpler, familiar, and much more efficient. Those are just a few notes. If anyone else, Tracy or Alyssa, if you want to add any details there.
Yeah, I think the key here is, go ahead, Tracy.
Yeah, I think that the key for our requesters is the user experience. the not having to shop in multiple places, and then the purchasing agents not having to take that information, whatever that information may have been that they got or didn't get, and then having to then manually key it into Amazon. So, I mean, there was just a lot of touch points that were unnecessary, and Punch Out really, really solved that problem.
Yeah, and just echoing off of that too, I think the increase in productivity, that streamlined requisition to invoice process, the end users are already familiar with creating requisitions, but they can be cumbersome, inputting all that data, keying it in manually, adding any additional attachments as needed. Whereas with the Punch Out, the requisition really is seamless. So as soon as you enter the Amazon Marketplace and the requisitioner builds their cart, when they bring those items back into PeopleSoft, all the data is brought back in. So there's no additional keying. It really is more like that at-home Amazon experience where it's ease of use, it's simple, you create the requisition, PO gets generated, and then all the subsequent flows occur from there.
Thank you. So now I just want to provide a quick little demo of what your user experience would look like if you were punching out to Amazon Business. Here you have your requisition page that a requester sees whenever they're requesting goods in their organization. You have all these different options of how to order items with a special request. You got your favorites, internal catalogs, but then there's this web section where you could punch out to Amazon.
Yeah. Matt, can you share your Amazon screen or your punch out screen?
Oh, my mistake. Yep, let me do that. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry. So let me rewind for a second, but this is your create requisition screen. This is where you can order whatever items you want, whether it's internal catalogs, a special request, or if you want to go to the Amazon Business Punch Out, you just click on this hyperlink. It'll route you to the Amazon website. You can search for whatever items you want that your organization has given you access to, and you could grab that item, add it to your cart, proceed to checkout, address you want to deliver to, shipping, payment, and submit. And whatever you selected in the Amazon Business website will populate in on your requisition using their item description, their quantity, their price, their link from Amazon Business shopping cart will be linked to this. Well, the credentials or the unique identifier will be associated to this requisition. So when you send it back to Amazon via PO, that PO will be linked back to that original Amazon cart request. And when you're in here, all you have to do is define your chart of accounts, where you want it shipped to, and you go ahead and submit. And that's your user experience within PeopleSoft for Amazon Business. Sorry.
And then that one thing I'd just like to add here too, from the Amazon standpoint. So, your requisition may go through some approval processes, and Amazon, is a dynamic marketplace. So the price and the inventory may fluctuate between the time that the requisition is created and the time it's approved and we get an approved PO. So in order to help you, not have those fluctuations and really make sure that you're adhering to the cart that you built, as long as Amazon receives an approved purchase order within 7 days of the creation of that cart, we will honor the price and inventory. And we call that enhanced checkout, and it really does help benefit our customers from any unwanted change in inventory or price. So I just wanted to highlight that, it's a seamless process. If for some reason your acquisition, though, does take a little bit longer for approval, we can, of course, still support that and make sure that there's no changes.
Excellent. Thank you. So integration considerations. Tracy, could you speak to some of the
Sure.
integration considerations that you guys encountered over at Wake Forest?
Sure. Yeah, you want to bring the PowerPoint back up?
Oh, geez, sorry. Yeah, I thought it was. 1 second.
While he's doing that, so yes, the punch-out process appears simple for the requisitioner because it is once it's live. Depending on your business model and how your individual locations handle projects will affect your timeline. The first thing to consider are who are your key players. Think about who needs to come to the table for a successful project implementation. Procurement to discuss current processes and what their future needs might be. IT, what will their role be in configuring PeopleSoft connections? How will the requesters be integrated between the systems? Will you use single sign-on or individual accounts? What's the maintenance of both? Accounts payable, will you use P-cards, reconcile monthly? Are you going to use invoices? How will they be loaded into PeopleSoft for payment? Who will be your Amazon lead? Does your organization use a project management team to keep your project timely to meet your goals and ultimate go live? Do you have a resource that understands both PeopleSoft and Amazon and how they integrate and interface with each other? That's super important. Absolutely. So, and then as for our timeline, we had a very short timeline. We implemented Amazon Business Punch-Out in 8 weeks. It started basically with a text message that I received on March the 19th about the possibility of checking with Matt and NRC about adding Amazon to our list of Punch-Out vendors. Next day, I was told, hey, let's go ahead and implement Amazon. And then we were live by May 23rd. Now, if you remember back March of last year, what was happening during this time?
Just
just a little thing called COVID. So that was huge for us. So, but once we spoke, by the next day we were having our internal initial discovery sessions, and then NRC team began the process to serve, and they basically served as our project team for the project. So a very short timeline, but we made it happen. Unique features that we chose, we did go with Business Prime. We do use the guided buying. We went live with restricted items where you had a notice that said, hey, try to purchase this from our contracted vendors. But it didn't stop the requester from adding something to the cart and placing that order. So then we ended up blocking certain unset codes like office supplies, IT related items, things of that nature. But we found that my team was unblocking and then reblocking items that couldn't be purchased somewhere else. So the maintenance of that became just overwhelming. So what we did, we left restricted in Amazon, gave the notice, hey, please use your contracted vendors, but allowed them to purchase. But in PeopleSoft, we added an additional workflow layer. So anytime an office supply comes across, anytime an IT item comes across, it goes to my team to approve, to check with purchasing or IT to see if it's something that can be purchased for the medical center. And then if it's approved, PO. If it's denied, then we have to deny it back with reason. So that seems to help a lot with the maintenance And it is easy to set up those features in Amazon. Very, very simple. As for the personal versus business account, this was a situation that was discovered mid to late project. We use single sign-on, meaning the accounts are tied to a person's email, which is their Wake email. At certain times of the year, Amazon.com will offer those having an EDU email address a deal on Prime. Us being an academic medical center whose employees use that type of email, they were linking their personal account to that email. So we had to do some changes to get them to stop using the EDU account and create their own personal Gmail or Yahoo email accounts and link their account there. If you don't, then you end up merging their personal account information, order history, etc., into Amazon, and that's not something that a lot of people want to do. So just something to think about if you have that EDU email, that might be an issue that you need to overcome. So you want to go ahead. Yeah. And then invoicing, I think there was a question about invoicing someone had. We use a third party for our invoicing through ATN. They with IDS. That's how we get our invoices into PeopleSoft for payment. Amazon integrates very well with them, but that was actually part of the project as well. So we not only had PeopleSoft, Amazon, we had to bring IDS to the table as well to work on that integration for invoicing. Single sign-on, just touched on that a little bit. You've got a couple options for we use single sign-on where the requester doesn't have to create a separate Amazon account with a password, and you have to have a one-time code every time that you punch out. We actually just use single sign-on where they use their Wake Help email and sign on to route to Amazon from PeopleSoft. Okay. Anything else on technical requirements for config options map?
Yeah, so one thing I want to mention about single sign-on is working with the technical resource over supporting single sign-on Wake Forest. When they set up single sign-on for Amazon Business, they said it was the easiest thing they've ever set up from a single sign-on perspective. So just kudos to Amazon Business for making that configuration so seamless. But when you look at PeopleSoft for an integration, there are several integration touch points, and many are technical in nature. Vast majority of these are the same, regardless of the punch-out supplier you're working with, but some will vary based on your business requirements. As Tracy was alluding to, there's a lot of key players you need involved that understand the business processes and such. Just some examples is that user authentication method into Amazon Business. PO dispatch method. Are you going to use a PDF or go electronic like the EDI 850? Invoice processing approach. Is it going to be PDF? Are you going to electronic EDI 810? Or are you leveraging that third party like Tracy mentioned to process their invoices from Amazon and other suppliers for that matter? Additionally, you may want to enhance your business processes around the rec to check. So the approval, the receiving, the matching, the PO dispatch, invoice, and others. So there's a fair amount of things to consider when that you could improve upon bringing in Amazon Business when you're looking at the whole picture.
And just to add on to that too, from a key player standpoint, Amazon definitely will help support, whether you have a project manager with NRC, whether you have your whole organization, procurement, IT, and AP involved. We have solution consultants such as myself. We have implementation managers. We have technical team members. All of our resources are there to help you implement and make sure that we meet your goals. And as you can see for the timeline with Wake, from Tracy's first internal meeting on March 19th, we got up and running, very fast on May 23rd. So I'd say with the right engagement, the key players, you do have the support needed. And as Matt mentioned before, Wake said single sign-on was super easy to go ahead and integrate. we have a lot of self-service guides that we'll also provide. So in addition to, you know, those human interaction resources, we do also have those self-service guides. We also can help support with change management. So from the personal versus business account questions that Tracy had and kind of worked through, that's something that we can help you with for, you know, those registration guides for those folks, any change management needed, and then just really making sure that you have the support needed to have a successful integration.
And the project timeline, this looks very simple, very easy to do. And truthfully, there was a lot of work that went on from discovery to project completion. You know, as I mentioned, we had a super short timeline. We don't usually implement punch out vendors in 8 weeks. At a minimum, it takes, you know, 12 weeks plus. So, but you know, we met our go live with the knowledge and experience of all the teams that came to the table. A strong understanding of the integration setup between PeopleSoft and Amazon is a must. You got to know how it integrates, and you'll learn that during your discovery sessions and then your plan and building. Training, Amazon does offer training materials that can be customized to your business. So they were able to customize recordings. And Alex on my team actually helped with those recordings for our user base using our system. And if they follow the recording, then they can create a requisition all the way through, no problem. Evaluate and stabilize, and then project completion. We tend to be in this spot now. We've gone to launch, evaluate, stabilize, project completion, then back to evaluate and stabilize. We've worked closely with NRC to add some updates to our messaging that is needed. We require requisitions to Amazon to go through punch out. So we use a field on the XML message that will tie the order number to that requisition to PO, so that if PeopleSoft doesn't see that number in the field, the order will fail. It won't dispatch to Amazon without some intervention. And once you see that happening, then you know that requisition didn't start with punch out, and purchasing can work with the requester to then go and enter it correctly. Another issue that we had was the need for the PO number to be on the address of the shipping label. We've got multiple shipping locations shipped to docks and doctors' offices, et cetera. So having that PO number on the label was very beneficial. So Wake and NRC and Amazon, we conduct little mini projects to come up with a solution to any of our needs. Our hope is always to complete a project successfully, but in the end, we're always looking for ways to make it better. And thankfully, both NRC and Amazon have been on board with all of our "what about this" questions and ideas. Well, can't we do this? What do you think about this? So they're open to all suggestions and ideas. So.
This is Matt. Just one thing I want to mention and give a big kudos to Amazon Business is in that discovery phase, they knew the questions to be asking to make sure that, you know, we were set up properly the first time. Granted, we learned a few things on the PeopleSoft side as we went, and that's now in the toolkit. But the discovery session is very thorough. It's those meetings with all your functional owners. What do you want to achieve with this? What are your goals? What are your challenges? And they made sure that those were, you know, addressed to the best of their ability during those discussions for the planning and building, training, et cetera. So just want to throw that out there.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Matt. And just to elaborate a little bit, as I mentioned previously, we do want to make sure that your business processes align with this technical solution. So as Tracy mentioned, they had a couple unique business processes, but we're able to work together to make sure that we can execute utilizing their business processes, but still make it technically sound. So definitely with the right people engaged, we can make the project be very successful.
Yeah, and Tracy, there's one more I was thinking about workflow. We added an approval workflow stage related to Amazon Business based on dollar amounts. So, that's where I go back to that holistic, rec to check process. Where can you, modify things to accommodate Amazon Business further? So just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, that we actually had that in Amazon Business before we went live with Punch Out. That was a workflow step that was in the system. Well, it was actually in Amazon after the requester had already put the requisition in to get to a PO. So you then had another level later of workflow that really should have been on the requisition workflow instead of waiting for the PO. So Amazon, Punch Out solves for that problem.
Perfect. So to recap, Alyssa, did you want to start off with a few of these?
Sorry, guys, I was on mute. Yeah, so to recap, as you mentioned before, signing up for Amazon Business is free. So you can sign up for an account today. You can start that integration process all without paying for anything. As mentioned, there is that additional membership that you can buy for Business Prime. It does unlock those additional features such as guided buying, additional payment terms, and things like that. But if you choose not to adopt for Business Prime with those features and free shipping, you can still sign up and integrate for free without any cost. Of course, as you learned today, the integrations do help streamline your procure-to-pay process. So it really is a seamless Amazon-like experience at home, but for business. And as we've learned today, the implementations can be completed very quickly. You will have engagement from Amazon with any additional third parties that you engage with, and then also those self-service guides. So, of course, NRC can help with those PeopleSoft integrations. And as you can see today, Wake was a very good customer success story, talking through how Wake, NRC, and Amazon Business work together.
I'd just like to add, for NRC, we have the knowledge, the experience, and the partnership with Amazon Business to manage and perform all these activities on the PeopleSoft side of the house to help you manage and quickly and simply integrate with Amazon Business into your PeopleSoft environment. Will allow you to save time and resources by leveraging our team's knowledge and integration blueprint. And we could provide a post-go live playbook to maintain the integrity and success upon integration. We at NRC, we have 25 years of consulting services and can assist in any aspect of PeopleSoft across the board, supply chain finance and HCM. So quick
Awesome.
Q&A.
Yep, I was going to say, I did see some questions in the chat. Tracy and Matt, one for you from Janice. Regarding three-way match, did you require an actual receipt from the doc in PeopleSoft? And then how did you handle returns?
Yes, so we do use three-way match, either doc or desktop receiving. That requester needs to go into PeopleSoft to receive the package. As for returns, I think I mentioned earlier that the requester gets that email notification of the order and shipping, etc. They actually own that order. So if there's a return that needs to happen, they can punch back out to Amazon, go to the chat window or call customer service and arrange for that return. And then the credit comes back into the account. So it's super easy to do a return. Yep. And if they have issues, customer services works really well with them.
And if I could just add, one of the things Tracy mentioned post go live, we made a modification to make sure that the POID printed on the shipping label, and that was a part of the CXML that was sent to Amazon. Amazon shared it with a third party shipped it, and the package had a POID in the label now with the modification we made. And your receiving doc got this package. All they had to do was look up the PO. And there it was. It pulled in all the lines, and it was a simple sync up. And then when the invoice came in electronically, it was linked. The invoice EDIA 10 had that PO, So when it pulled in the PO to create the voucher, pulled in the receipt, 3A match, all done. Real smooth.
Awesome, thanks, Matt. There's another question from Michael, and he asks, are you using transparent punch out?
Yeah, we're using the EDX punch out. Yep.
Awesome. And then just to kind of surface some of the other questions that have been answered, Grace asked, does Amazon have the ability to get an EDI 850? The answer is yes. We do also support 810s, 855s, and 856s as long as your systems can handle the requirements. So definitely something that we do support. Patrick asked about one-time ship tos and how we handle those types of ad hoc requests. And the answer is that Amazon does not store any ship tos, so we'll always fulfill the goods to the address that comes over on the PO. So if you do have, ad hoc addresses enabled in PeopleSoft, not a problem. We will just ship to whatever comes over on that PO.
And if I could just add, when I was doing my demo, you saw ship to this address. That was just a default from the requester profile coming over. And to Alyssa's point, it's not what's used at the point of shipment. It's what's on the PO.
Yep. And then Natalie asked about consolidated POs. Amazon doesn't recommend that as a best practice just because it may break the enhanced checkout. Enhanced checkout is that 7-day lock that I mentioned to help our customers be protected against any fluctuations in inventory and price. So we would recommend not to consolidate POs so you can benefit from that 7-day lock and shield yourself from any unwanted fluctuations.
And from a PeopleSoft perspective, I would recommend avoiding that because the requisition itself is linked to the Amazon cart ID. And that's what Alyssa's referring to, is that 7-day lock. So you don't want to have one PO linked to 2 carts in the Amazon business.
Yep, and then Matt, this question probably for you from David. He said, for PO dispatch, do you send the CXML directly from PeopleSoft to Amazon?
The PO is direct from PeopleSoft to Amazon. And the invoice is from Amazon to IDS to Wake. And awesome. Just to add a little description to that, Amazon was able to send it to IDS via CXML, and IDS was able to convert that into EDI 810 for Wake to consume.
And then Tracy, Patrick asked if you exposed the Amazon punch out to all requisitioners for a big bang, or if you tailored it to specific groups.
No, we went big bang. We have the option to tailor it to certain groups. We've got another punch out vendor that we've done that with. What we did, we set up a role. It's role-based to give that in PeopleSoft. So only those requesters with that role would be able to see Amazon. They would, if you don't have the role, you wouldn't even be able to see the link. So.
And those catalogs, there's catalog security within PeopleSoft, and that's how you control who could see what catalogs, and it can be role, user, or business unit. And it's just like an internal catalog, who you assign it to. There's punch out catalogs as well.
And Patrick, just to add some additional color from the Amazon perspective, we do have customers that integrate Big Bang, of course, like Tracy, and we do have others that tailor it and do have a phased approach. It really just depends on the customer preference and what your goals are. We do also have this concept called direct access. So if you do want to have a phased approach and tailor, your PeopleSoft integration by group, you can still have everybody else be purchasing from your main business account through the web while you make that transition. If you do that, you can still have those folks underneath that main umbrella for your customer business account. So there is definitely lots of different configurations and different raw options that we can work together with you on. Awesome. Looks like the questions in the chat have diminished down a little bit, but are there any other questions that the team has? Matt, feel free to talk through some next steps.
Yeah. First off, I'd just like to give a big thank you. One, definitely to Tracy and Wake Forest, Amazon Business for, collaborating with NRC moving forward in our partnership here, and all the customers and clients that have joined this presentation. I hope you find it valuable and you go this route. I think you'll find a lot of benefits to it, to your end users, and overall for your organization. The streamlined approach will definitely optimize the experience and reporting analytics all across the board. If you have any additional questions, please contact your Amazon Business Customer Advisor, or you can reach out to me directly. My email is there. And if you do have additional information, please visit the website nrcamazon.com. And I think that'll do it. Alyssa, Tracy.
Yeah, just thanks for joining today, everybody, and looking forward to speaking with you all, hopefully, about PeopleSoft and Amazon.
Excellent. Thank you. Take care, all.